All right. Thank you, Tuka, and good morning, everybody. It's great to be here again in the BCC and see so many people coming to the event again. I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about what's happening and what has happened in Qt, talk a little bit about what some of the new things we've been doing, new products, new Qt versions, and give you a little bit of an outlook into the future and what's happening there. But before we're going there, let's have a quick look at our ecosystem. Tuka already mentioned that in his speech here. The ecosystem that is growing, we're seeing lot more people coming in and using our product. You can see some download numbers. This is the first time we ever published them over the last couple of years, and we see that we have a very nice upwards trend from 2016, where we had around 3.5 million downloads, now to 2018, where we estimate that we'll get close to 5 million. Let's see how things go. We still have a couple of weeks going on. I hope this will turn out very well. But we're actually doing more things actively to grow our ecosystem and to bring new users into the Qt ecosystem. Let me show you one of the things that we've been doing here.
Python. Formidable, agile. Here we see one in its natural setting. A marvel of evolution, a master of its domain. The Python developer is perfectly adapted to working with big data, automation tasks, artificial intelligence, and more. However, he lacks the ability to use advanced graphics and create complex user interfaces. Alone in the jungle, he will need a reliable partner. Oh, look.
It appears as if he has discovered something.
Oh, of course. It's Qt for Python.
So yes, we're bringing Qt to Python. It's a project that has been ongoing for quite a while. It started off a couple of years ago as the PySide project. And we've been over the last 2 or 3 years really putting some effort into that one to make sure it's ready for full consumption. And I'm really glad to announce now that we are fully supporting that one from very soon on forwards. Python is one of the largest growing programming languages out there in the world. And it's actually a pretty good fit together with what we're doing as Qt. It doesn't have technology to do user interfaces, and we can complement that. With Qt for Python, you can do pretty much anything you can do with Qt for C++. All the APIs are available, and you can go and create all your applications in Python now with that version. But it's not stopping there. We're doing more things to extend our outreach into the ecosystem. As you know, Qt is a cross-platform framework, and we are covering pretty much all of the desktop platforms, the mobile platforms, and a huge variety of embedded platforms. There's, however, one big platform that we've been missing so far, and that's something we're working on fixing right now. We're bringing Qt to the web with Qt for WebAssembly. Qt for WebAssembly is now being released as a second technology preview, so it's still not final. Also because WebAssembly as a standard is developing still pretty rapidly. But what you can do with it is you take your Qt application as it is, you compile it down into a WebAssembly package, put it onto a web server, and any user can run your application inside a web browser, inside a modern one. So with the upcoming Qt 5.12 release, this is what you'll get. You'll have that, and I'd encourage you to try it out and see how it works for you. And finally, then, there's a third way how we're expanding our ecosystem, not towards developers, but also towards user interface designers and user experience designers. Have another look for yourself.
The working relationship between designers and developers can be complex. It's as if they speak different languages. A developer communicates in C++, Python, and other programming languages, while a designer communicates in wireframes, mockups, and sketches. Their visions are different. Ideas and prototypes go back and forth, wasting time and money. This workflow is simply not efficient. But there is a way for designers and developers to speak the same language. Qt is a cross-platform software development framework.
So we are currently working very actively towards making that vision possible. Really having designers and developers work together easily on the same product in an interactive way, not in a way where designers create a design, you have a waterfall model that moves over to developers. And we've released over the last year 2 products that are supposed to help you there, that are helping you there. First one is Qt 3D Studio. We've released the first version of that one a year ago. It came originally as a contribution from NVIDIA. And it's a full 3D scene editing tool helping you design and create 3D user interfaces. We are now at version 2.1 and hope that we'll have version 2.2 out still before Christmas. Done larger changes there to integrate it better into Qt. The contribution we got from NVIDIA was a standalone project. We've now made sure that the tooling is using Qt, it's cross-platform. We've been bringing with version 2 the runtime on top of Qt 3D and integrate that much better and closer. And we're doing multiple improvements there to the editor, using our native Qt text rendering to make sure it's really deeply integrated and works very well. Here's a screenshot of it, of Qt 3D Studio, and a device that's connected to it. And this is one of the big advantages you have. When you design things in there, you can directly and immediately see the result and test it on your hardware, on your target. Whether that's a desktop or an embedded hardware, it doesn't matter. And then there's a second application that we have just released to help the cooperation between designers and developers. It's Qt Design Studio, where Qt 3D Studio is mainly focused on 3D user interface creation. This one is more towards the classical, Qt Quick-based 2D user interfaces. And it's actually something where we've taken the Qt Quick Designer that many of you know from Qt Creator and brought it to a new level. Let's have a look at some of its features here as well. With Qt Design Studio, you can easily take now your design that you created in Photoshop or soon in Sketch and export it from there. You can then import that into Qt Design Studio, modify it, create components out of it, and use those to create your user interface. You can hook up states and connections to control the logic of your user interface. Create animations using the timeline editor. Control and view your code and design side by side. You can have a live preview of what is there, use custom effects and shapes built into the designer. See it really in real time, what's happening, and change things in real time. And do all of that inside the tool. And of course, as with Qt 3D Studio, you can test it all on the device. So that's Qt Design Studio. It's really a tool that we've developed and designed specifically so that the UX designers can work together with you on that project. It's based on the Qt Creator application framework, so it means it integrates very nicely with Qt Creator and will help designers and developers cooperate very closely. So that's it for designer tooling. Let's go a little bit over towards the developers. And let's start with the tooling there as well. And our main tool is, of course, Qt Creator, our IDE. Been doing quite a bit of work in that area, and make use of Clang has been one of our main goals in there. We've been moving our code model over from our own parser to a Clang-based code model, been integrating Clang Tidy, looking into Clang Modernize, have automatic code formatting available using Clang. So there's a lot of things that are happening and will happen for us moving forward. We've added support for debugging multiple applications simultaneously. Very nice if you have a larger system that consists of multiple applications and you need to check their interactions and debug that. Added support for CPP check as a static analyzer, and we've added support for the language server protocol. So now any programming language that is supported through a language server can be used in Qt, and we're using that ourselves for our Python support in Qt Creator. But not everybody of you is using Creator. Some are also, I know, using Visual Studio, and we've done a lot of work on our Visual Studio integration as well. The main focus here has been to add support for QML debugging and QML support in general. So with the new version of the Visual Studio integration, you get full QML support built in. A code model, syntax highlighting, completion, and the debugging support. So you can run your QML application and you can set breakpoints in QML code, look at the stack traces, and all of that. That's it for the tooling. Let's move over to the frameworks. And let's first start with the good news here. Qt 5.12, our next long-term supported release. It's out today. And you can download it now. Before we move any further there into some of the features, and I'll tell you a bit about that, I'd actually like to take that opportunity here now to thank everybody who has been contributing to it, whether they work in the Qt company or are part of our ecosystem of our contributors. Thank you very much for all the hard work you put into Qt 5.12 and the surrounding tools. I'd like to especially thank our partner KDAP here, as being consistently the largest external contributor to Qt over all those years. Thank you very much, all of you. So, what's in Qt 5.12? We've done, of course, a lot of new things and a lot of new features. Too many for me to mention them all in this keynote, but I'll try to go through a couple of those. But before I go through the features, one other thing that we've been doing there is, look into, stability, quality, and performance. And, on the quality side, just a couple of ideas what has happened since, Qt 5.6. Since Qt 5.6, the first long-term supported release we have been doing, we fixed more than 5,000 bugs, and we had around 30,000, close to 30,000 commits going into our repositories. Since 5.9, we still have 2,000 bugs that are fixed and 12,000 commits going in. So a lot of work has happened, to push Qt forward and to improve it. Let's have a look at some of the features. Start off with one of them that's really at the, in the core of Qt: Unicode support internationalization. With Qt versions all the way up to 5.11, our Unicode support was still a little bit lagging behind in some areas. We had, for example, a bidirectional algorithm for Arabic and Hebrew text that was somewhat outdated. And we've done a big push for Qt 5.12 now to bring all of this up to date. And I'm really glad to say that with 5.12, we have full compliant Unicode 10 support, working on Unicode 11 that just came out, slightly after our feature freeze. And have updated the bidirectional algorithm, text segmentation algorithms, Unicode characters, everything that you need to really create internationalized applications. We've also done work on other areas there, like improvements to QRegular expression to have better Unicode support there. We've also done quite a bit of work on the Qt Widgets side. It's a stable module, not too many new features coming in, but we're actively maintaining it. We have been fixing many, many bugs in that area and doing smaller API additions. But then, there have been a couple of things happening behind the scenes, behind the APIs, where we've completely rewritten our accessibility support on Windows to be based on Windows UI automation, giving you much better support there for accessibility, something that's a real hard requirement for many of our users. Been working on printing for Linux and a couple of other places to improve the support for our desktop users. Been doing a lot of work on QML and QtQuick. The first thing to mention here is that QML, as you know, has a JavaScript support built in, and you can combine QML and JavaScript in an easy way. We've been doing a major push there to update that to ECMAScript 7. So with 5.12 now, you have full ECMAScript 7 support available in QtQuick and QML. Been working on input handling. QtQuick, the mouse had usually support of touch input handling or mouse input handling through the mouse areas, touch areas. And that approach had a bit of its limitations when you had to combine them in a complex scene, put them into something that you could flick. And for that, we've now done the new input handlers, which are much more flexible in that respect and give you better control over what the UX is actually doing with those input events. We've added a table view component, which was one of the last view components that was missing. We had one in the QtQuick controls 1. This one is much, much faster and better. We've added, before 5.12 already support for shapes, so that you can have, draw arbitrary shapes and put those into your scene, and actions and menus. But it doesn't stop there. We've also done a lot of work on performance and memory consumption. And let's give you a couple of examples here. This is an example of an application running, QML application running against the different Qt versions. And we've measured the memory consumption of the QML engine itself, not everything surrounding it, not the graphical assets, just the engine itself. And we got a really nice improvement there since Qt 5.6, going down from over 35 megs to now around 13 megs. So that's really good and great news for everybody, because that saved memory is available for you and for your application. We've also worked on improving the performance. We got a nice speed up on our QML bench, our internal benchmark that we're using for benchmarking the performance of QML. 14% speed up there since 5.6. Not that much between 5.9 and 5.12, but a little bit we still managed. And then we've worked also on the JavaScript performance, where the benchmark that we're using show a very nice improvement between 5.9 and 5.12 for x86 or x64. And on ARM64, we have a huge bump actually between 5.6 and 5.9 already, and then a slight improvement still towards 5.12. Another thing that many of our users need nowadays, and especially in the embedded space, medical space, and automotive, is that they have certain parts of their user experience and user interface that is safety critical, that needs to be certified. And for that, we've been working on the Qt Safe Renderer, something we already presented a bit last year. It makes it easy to put the safety critical parts of your user interface into a separate process and separate the parts that you need to certify from the general user interface with tooling integrated. And I'm really happy to say that we've got this now pre-certified to SIL 3 in the medical space and ASIL D for automotive specifications. So this really helps and simplifies the process of getting a certified system out there into the market. And there are many other items in Qt 5.12 that I can't really go into details now. Have a look at that, have a look at our blog posts and other things to see more details. There have been improvements all over the place in Qt Core, Network, Qt 3D, Location, Web Engine, Virtual Keyboard. We have handwriting recognition there now and other cool stuff. And we've now actually added 2 new modules as fully supported, the Qt Remote Objects and WebGL Streaming that have been in technology preview so far. And then other things like more machine-to-machine protocols, OPC UA is something we're having as a technology preview now. So that's Qt 5.12. But let's have an outlook over what's going to come and happen over the next 1 to 2 years into the future. The first thing we've been doing there, we have been looking into now, is looking, can we scale actually Qt down to very low-end hardware? We have a couple of users who would like to use Qt on rather low-end hardware, even microcontrollers. We got a lot of questions around that. So we've been trying that out and have been researching that a little bit. We don't really have a product around it yet, but it's a research direction that we're looking into. And we have been having good success of bringing Qt down to a Cortex M7, with 3 to 10 megabytes of RAM and 6 to 13 megabytes of ROM usage. It's pretty nice numbers, and you can actually see a demo of that running downstairs. So have a look if you're interested, and check that out there. And then we've started our work towards the next major version of Qt, Qt 6. That's something we've been discussing on and off. When should we be doing that? And we believe now is a good time to start that work. Still, Qt 6 is a while out. Our release schedules for Qt 13, 14, 15 are unaffected. We will have those, coming at a regular 6 months interval. And then we're thinking about having Qt 6 maybe in around 2 years from now. What are the goals there? First one, and most importantly, is that you have a very easy upgrade path with your code base from Qt 5 to Qt 6. So compatibility is really, really important to us. But we will also do a little bit of cleanups and remove deprecated APIs, things that we have been carrying around now for a long time, that we want people to move away from because they're outdated or they're really hard to maintain and keep us, hold us back from doing the new things that we believe we need to be doing. We'll work on integrating Qt closer with standard C++. This is a common question I've been getting quite a lot. When I go to C++ conferences, other places, it feels like Qt and C++, sometimes standard C++ are a little bit of separate worlds. We have our own APIs for many things, for very good reasons, historical reasons partially. But my goal is now for Qt 6 to bring those closer together. For example, see how we can have a better interoperability between standard and Qt containers. Can we have move operations between the Qt containers and standard containers, so you don't have to copy the data when you convert one to the other? And I believe a lot of that is possible. We'll have to see how that turns out in detail, but we can do a lot of things. There's also some classes that we had introduced purely because the standard classes were not ready, like QPair. We can probably move that over and just use standard pair and make QPair an alias to that one. It's fully source compatible and gives you the better standard integration. And then finally see how we can add a couple of more APIs in C++ that are currently, for things that are currently only doable in QML and Quick, like exposing a C++ API to do bindings. Those are some of the ideas we're having, and let's see what comes out of that in the end. Cross-platform graphics is another big topic, and that's one of the reasons why we really also have a big need to do Qt 6. When we did Qt 5, OpenGL was what we thought was the cross-platform solution to 3D graphics. Turns out the world has moved on, and Apple is deprecating OpenGL. We don't know how long it will still be available there. They say use Metal. Microsoft pushes DirectX. The OpenGL driver problem was never really solved very well on Windows. On many embedded devices, we're now getting Vulkan. So what do? And our goal now is to basically take that pain away and provide a cross-platform graphics abstraction layer to solve that problem. This is what we've been doing all along. Qt is a cross-platform toolkit. We're trying to take differences in APIs of the underlying platforms away from you and solve that problem for you. So we'll do that, and our goal is to do that on the graphics side as well for the 3D graphics APIs. We also need to do work on unifying our architecture for 2D and 3D graphics. If you look at our graphics stack right now, it's a little bit fragmented. We have widgets here, then we have QML with a scene graph on 2D, and we have Qt 3D with another scene graph. And that's not optimal for performance and for many other reasons. So our goal here is to see how we can bring those together, the scene graphs, unify the scene graphs, at least for Qt Quick and Qt 3D, and have a good common solution there. How it will look like in detail, we don't know yet, but we're working on that. Also look at how can we better share graphics assets and have a flexible developer API around that. And then finally, the design tooling. I've talked about that earlier. We have 2 design tools, Qt 3D Studio for the 3D stuff, Qt Design Studio for the 2D stuff. Those tools are good for their use cases, they're interoperable, but they're not, it's not ideal because as a designer you have to switch back and forth if you want to do 2D and 3D at the same time. So our goal is to bring those together into a unified design tool, and hopefully we can do that already before Qt 6. That's another big piece of work that we're doing to really make the designer-developer workflow as easy as possible. So that's a little bit of an outlook of what we're doing and what we're planning on doing with Qt moving forward. And with that, I'd like to thank you very much for the attention. I hope you'll enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you all.